Hey, what's up everybody? It's Cargo here again, and I am going to be telling you about the multiplayer of Resistance 3 because I think I've played enough to be able to make a good assessment on whether it's good, bad, what are its strengths and weaknesses, and whatnot. So this right here is going to be a team deathmatch on Trainyard. And let's see, what should I start off with? Well, I guess I'll start off with the maps first. The maps all seem to be balanced really well, and there do seem to be some things that could be balanced a little bit better, but they trade that out by having each side attack once. So it's essentially like this map. Right now I'm playing as the humans, and then after this round is over, we'll play the exact same map, except the teams will switch. So we'll be the Chimera, and the other team will be the humans. So there may be balance issues, but each side gets the short end of the stick if there are balance issues. And that seems to happen on every map. Of course, there's maps I prefer over others, but I haven't seen any particular maps where the humans are more apt to win, or where the Chimera are more likely to win. They're all very, very equal. So props to the people who made the maps. They've done very well. Next, I guess the weapons. The weapons I think are just really, really fun to use. And they each have their advantages. Whereas like in Call of Duty, where there's always the weapons you should be using if you want to do well. Such as like in Call of Duty, be the FAMAS and then the AUG, Black Ops I'm talking about. But in this one, you can use any weapon and be successful with it, which is something I like a whole lot. Right now, I'm using the Deadeye, which is a burst rifle, because it has range as well as being able to fire it pretty well. So that's my personal preference. But each weapon has its own perks, like the Deadeye, or what is it called? The Bullseye. You can mark people, and then the bullets will follow them. So once you mark them, the bullets will follow them around the corner. Of course, the gun does less damage per bullet, but they make up for it by being able to fire on corners if you mark somebody and things like that. So the weapons are balanced, and they're really fun to use. Like, I would use any weapon and be happy with it. And there's kind of some funny ones where like one that'll mutate people and kill them. That's pretty funny. Yeah, what else? What should I move on to now? The game modes. They have quite an extensive... I mean, nothing that you've never seen before, but they have a lot of different game modes. Deathmatch, Team Deathmatch, Small Deathmatch, Small Team Deathmatch, and then they have more objective modes. One which is called Chain Reaction, which is essentially where you push up and down the map, capturing like 5 or 7, I forget how many it is, different control points. And then eventually, once you get to the end, you have to like hit a button and then wait for some like orbital system to lock on and to destroy it, or an airstrike to come in. And so that's a kind of a tug type of game mode. And then there's a game mode called Breach, where there's 3 generators. One is a turret generator, and the other is a shield generator, and then there's the final generator. So you have to take out the shield and turret generators. Well, you don't have to, but it's highly suggested to take out the first 2 generators, and then you move on to the final one. That's my least favorite, simply because it requires the most teamwork, and I've just been playing with randoms. So it's either you have teammates who know what they're doing, or you have teammates who don't know what they're doing. But if you're playing with friends, that game mode will be fun. And I know I'm missing something. Well, whatever. If I remember it, I'll come back to it. Let's see, what else? Well, the actual gunplay is nice. You can customize your loadouts with different weapons, and so you can't customize the weapons per se, but you can upgrade them. For example, the weapon I'm using, it starts out with essentially you have a secondary fire, which this one shoots a little turret that'll last for a little while. And then of course it's primary, but it doesn't have a scope on it at level 1. And then each time you level up, you get points, and the points grant you upgrades to perks and your weapons. So I've upgraded this to, I think, all the way to level 3. So it gets you a scope, and then at level 2, and then at level 3, it makes your little turret that you shoot for secondary fire last a little bit longer. And then, let's see, they have kill streaks, and I've got to say, this is kill streaks done right. I can't say I'm a big fan of kill streaks, since they kind of just encourage killing and nothing else, but the kill streaks aren't customizable. Everybody has the same kill streaks. There are some variations on the first kill streak based on whether humans or chimera. The humans have a assault shield, which is just a shield that comes out in front of them, and the chimera can go invisible. And then after that, I think at 5 or 7 or something, you get an auger, which is a gun that shoots through walls, because obviously that would be overpowered if you actually just had that in the game. And then at 9, everybody gets kind of a boost where they like essentially get bigger, get more health, and then get a giant grenade launcher. Or I think that's what it is. I think it's a grenade launcher. And I think I actually get that in this round. You'll be able to see me use all the different kill streaks in this game. Yeah, here's the auger. And so yeah, the auger is really nice. It's hard to hit people if they're moving through a bunch of walls. But oh, this gun is amazing. But yeah, so the kill streaks are balanced, especially since you can't customize them. There's nothing that's like better than the other. I think the bubble shield just gives the humans, they're kind of more head-on. Well, they'll just charge in and they can kind of tank a room, whereas the chimera would sneak in and then like hit you in the back while they're invisible. And both are sufficiently annoying, but can be dealt with effectively. So I mean, it's always annoying when you get killed by an invisible chimera who just like is camping your spawn. That always makes me really mad. But I think it'd be better if they had a little better outline of the chimera when they're invisible, because it is really annoying just having people who get their 3 kill streak and then just go camp by your spawn as an invisible chimera and then hit you in the back before you can even get to the front lines. But usually it's not too big of an issue. Yeah, that wasn't invisible, that was just some guy who flanked me. And oh, another thing that I like about the level design is, unlike most other FPSs that have stupid chokes and places you can kind of camp, this has tons of flanking routes. So I hate games like Call of Duty where you essentially get rewarded for camping. Oh, by the way, here I am with my level 9 kill streak. I don't last as long as people normally would, just because the enemies kind of spread out, and so they get me from all sides. But I've gotten like 10 kill streaks while I'm this guy. If the enemy isn't trying, like focusing you down, you can do a lot of damage. But anyways, what was I talking about? Flanking. Oh yeah, so there's always ways to flank an enemy in this game, and unless they are expecting you, like they know you're coming, there's no way you can just like camp in one spot the whole game, unless the enemy's terrible. I mean, that's happened to me a couple times, but where I've just been able to sit in one spot. But that's not because like you can actually camp in this game. It's just because the enemy never got around to killing me. Let's see, but oh yeah, but then there's different perks you can have. I think there's 4 different perks, and a lot of them are actually will give you a little debuff for a slight XP gain. And I haven't used those yet, but I don't think I will, just because I don't see the point. But then there's things like extending, like I think right now I have a jammer on, which means that when I become in close proximity with the enemy, their screen or their radar fuzzies up. That's terrible terminology, I'm sorry. But then yeah, bandolier or bandolier, I forget how you pronounce it, my apologies. But that, it just gives you extra ammo, and then I also have, you can see on the bottom right there, the ammo one, which I think is a great idea. It gives you like a little area where it can refill your ammo when you run out. And the other one just gives you a little shield, so if you get in a melee combat, it kind of stuns the enemy for a little bit and does a tiny bit of damage. And there's a bunch of different ones, and all the perks seem to be useful. There's no perks that are totally useless. They all have some purpose for different styles of play, which I particularly like. The health is regenerating, and that works out just fine, I think. And let's see, what else am I missing? I don't know, but I just think this game is really, really fun to play. It probably won't see much of the competitive scene, but it is super fun to play, and I highly, highly recommend picking it up. The single player is really fun. Like, the single player is not awe-inspiring, but it's entertaining, and then the multiplayer is definitely top-notch. So I encourage you guys to pick it up, and I hope I'll see you on here. Feel free to send me a friend request, and we can do some co-op campaign or group up for some multiplayer. Alright, well, see you guys next time.